But I want to begin with President Trump undermining a major show of force by America's top national security officials. His officials, the top intelligence officials, say the Russia threat is very real, vowing to protect American elections from a pervasive campaign by Russians to interfere in this year's midterm elections. But to the president, everything related to Russia is still a big hoax. And I have a great to walk you through the tale of two administrations. National security and intelligence leaders are making a very bold assertion and calling out Russia straight out for a very real and very serious threat to U.S. democracy. Listen. It is good to be a master negotiator, but remember, the President of the United States is lying. He went on to say Russia didn't want him to win the election. And you absolutely know that is a lie. When he was in Helsinki, Vladimir Putin was asked by journalists, and he said yes, he was pleased to see President Trump win. So to those people who attended President Trump's rally, we care about you. We support you. You deserve better. You deserve the truth. The president got up there last night and lied to you. The march to the midterms is on, and Axios said that last night proved. Washington Post says the Democratic nominee, Phil Brendan Cortez, campaigning with Bernie Sanders. And if you turn on...
President Trump hit a favorite topic at a rally in Pennsylvania last night, again touting his vision for a Space Force.
Our Commander Kelly, excuse me, walk us through this. Creating a new branch of military, this is a massively expensive and bureaucratic effort, sort of the opposite of what this administration claims to be doing across the board. Give us your view.
Well, combatant command. What's the difference here, and what would the aim be? If you subscribe to the president's notion that we should have a Space Force, what is that Space Force meant to be doing?
Well, that's one
of those places where you're up there with people, astronauts from all over the world. It's the one place where we actually codepend and we get things done. We actually probably want Earth to feel a little more like space.
You know, absolutely. It's an environment where former...
When the president has a legislative agenda, you can travel it back to a portion of his base or his administration as something he ran on. This one, who do you think is what's the motivation behind it? I think back to the military exercises that the president wants to cancel taking place in Asia because he claims it costs too much. This would cost way more. Who wants to do it?
You know, I don't really want to...
I told you this, but every time we talk, he reminds me that if everybody actually hung out in space, went up on a space shuttle, orbited space, went to the International Space Center, the station, the looking back on Earth changes your entire view of fighting over resources, fighting over things. It sort of does give you, just gives you a better perspective, I guess, by definition. Right, Scott?
Absolutely. An orbital perspective. It makes...
Anyone who is feeling like this jobs number is a little light need to factor in that Toys R Us liquidation. Yeah. So it's been accounted 32,000 decline in jobs, and those job losses are in hobby, toy, and game stores, i.e. Toys R Us liquidated.
So I want to be fair. In a normal world, I would say 150,000 plus is good. And I've been saying this for probably 20 years. It is lower than the average that we've had in the last 2 years, but it's still it's an okay
whether
number.
You're talking 150,000 jobs or 200, we've been churning out a good jobs report for years now. The issue that we're not addressing, and it's the same issue we had in the Obama administration, is income inequality and wages. And the hope is, as the labor market tightens, wages will tick up. And the fact that they're not, this is the massive issue that's plaguing our country, that's plaguing the world, that has led to so much anger.
Unemployment is not the intractable issue it used to be. If you saw that unemployment number once a month in the old days, it used to tell you something really important. That's not it. Unemployment's low. Job growth is high. Wage growth is stagnant.
And when companies are faced with, do I pay these low-wage workers more or do I invest in automation, the answer across the board has been, for the most part, has been automation. Every intern at Jeffries has to write a letter about who they are and their experience, and you're stuck out with Wall Street jobs. You live in New Hampshire, excuse me, in Maine. You take a bus to New Hampshire every morning, and then that bus takes you to Boston. How did you even know about this program? Or
great people to learn from. It's really been such a great culture to be a part of.
Waitressing and a full-time student. What's your message to other kids out there? Nomination. Why do they want to hire you? Is it a student out there who has not done their summer reading? I'm talking to you, my kids. I know you're a lot younger. For anyone who just doesn't feel like getting out of bed and making it to work on time, listen to April. President Trump served up some flat out lies. At his own campaign rally last night in Pennsylvania, the New York Times debunked a number of his claims. So let's start with lie number one. Trump on Russia. Nope. Trump's tax cuts for the wealthy may have been massive, but they do not stack up to the cuts from former U.S. presidents like Ronald Reagan and George W. Bush. And lie number five, Trump on the press. Please, Mr. President, relax. The press is not the enemy of the people. We here, at least on Velshi and Ruhle, are giving people the facts, not alternative facts, not facts as you see them, not facts as you remember them. We give them the facts, and facts matter. Facts matter, and those people, those kids who sat behind you, I bring it up again, Allie, at that rally, those children deserve
the best economy in U.S. history. But as you and I always say, it's good. It's growing. Things are happening. There's good GDP growth. Unemployment is low. We're creating 150,000 plus jobs a month. There's lots of stuff to actually talk about without lying. And if he didn't lie about it, you and I would actually have done an entirely different story right now. There'd be some news out there that we're not reporting to our viewers because we're fact-checking the president again.
Axios put out a report today that said a Republican who's running in 2018, an endorsement from Trump is the golden ticket. If you coupled that Axios report with the kind of support and adoration President Trump's get at his rallies, we would sit here and talk about what a winning combination this is. Instead, we sit here scratching our heads why President Trump gets up at a podium in a room full of people who love and adore him, and he lies straight to their faces. Why? Allie can dance just like that guy. Welcome back to Velshi and Ruhle. That was one of the many commercials that have become as iconic as the products they sell, and all of it paid off big time yesterday when Apple became the first Let's get depressed, stock pickers, if you missed this one. If you bought Apple stock back in the 80s, say $1,000 worth, it would have grown to $500,000 by today. Over the years, Apple released newer computers, from the Macintosh to the iMac to laptops like the PowerBook and the MacBook Air. And as the company grew, it branched out to devices far beyond computers, from iPods, launched back in 2001, to the iPhone, which was 6 years later, iPads in 2010, and now Apple Watches. The company helped digitize and deviceify, that's a new word for you, our daily life. Part and parcel with all that is marketing, the logo evolving over the years, and it has become an ever-present part of our lives. Just think about this. On just our show team alone, and I'm not saying anyone is an Apple enthusiast. Somehow this happened. It's like it infiltrated our system. We've got more than 100 Apple products between the 16 people on our team. More than 8 different devices, computers and peripherals per person. And that is just the ones we and our families currently use. This morning, we spoke to Chief Marketing Officer at RX Advance, John Scully, who was the CEO of Apple, really at a very formative time of the business, that from 1983 to 1993.
Before we go to that, I have to show you these old. This is fun.
This is fun. Think of Apple's ability to win our loyalty. Today, we're not loyal to many companies.
Right.
But once you become an Apple user, once it is in your home, it's a hard system to quit.